actually the government, and including the current government and the coalition government and governments before that, have invested a lot in support for a range of different energy technologies, because we have a pressing issue in this country to replace a significant amount of generation capacity which has come or coming towards the end of its life, and that's true of almost whatever form of generation you want. And Mr Davis's suggestion or comments in relation to his constituency indicate that there will be some energy sources which are applicable and appropriate for some places that aren't suitable for others, and it's about how you best construct the optimum mix rather, I think, than trying to justify a prejudice for or against a particular form of energy.
What would you describe as being the economic benefits of new nuclear builds in general and in relation to Wilver Newydd?
Well, in relation to Wilver, I know you had evidence from Horizon earlier on in your inquiry, and they will have, I think, outlined in terms of the amount of investment going in, the amount of jobs that will create both in the construction phase and then later, and for a significant extended period in terms of the operation of the station, and eventually when it gets to that point in terms of decommissioning. Now those jobs will have an enduring value. People on Anglesey will know that the impact and the economic impact that's been made in relation to Wilver, that have been the Wilver generation, which finished at the end of last year after 44 years of generation, that the extent that has helped to provide well-paid, high-skilled, permanent jobs in an economy in part of the world where it's more remote than perhaps some other parts of the country. So there is an enduring economic impact, but it's also got a particularly important energy impact in that part of the world where there are, as you know, the energy island concept is about a range of different energy sources, but the new build Wilver will be a significant part of that.
And is it possible to quantify the potential economic benefits of small modular reactors?
Well, small modular reactors are at a very early stage, and you will have seen the government's publication just last week in terms of the opening stages of a competition towards SMR technology. I think it's an important technology. It's the right thing for the government to be doing, to be setting out a roadmap for the adoption of that technology, but it shouldn't be seen as an alternative to the new build programme, but as something that can be complementary in certain sites where it might not be appropriate for a larger new build facility to take place.
Thank you very much indeed.
Welsh and UK governments could be doing to help to redress the skills gap, and also perhaps aligned to that in terms of decommissioning, how you feel decommissioning could be planned to sort of retain skills.
On the first point, in terms of the Welsh Government and the UK Government, obviously this cuts across devolved and reserved areas in relation to skills and education. And I think my understanding is that the Welsh Government have been very active in trying to ensure they're getting prepared for this potential development and ensuring you've got enough people with the right skills coming through education and aware of the opportunities. Actually, it also starts quite a lot younger than that, in encouraging people to take the right subjects and to be able to see that there's a future and there's an economic future and job opportunities. On the point about decommissioning as well, I think it's important to think about the workforce that's currently decommissioning and the timescales of that, and then leading into when you get into operation. I think there's a good basis of work to be done there to ensure that some of those people are able to move between. People who've been operating at Wilver up until relatively recently now may be involved in the early stages of decommissioning, may be able to go back into operation again once Wilver Newydd is up and running.
That's timing.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think one of the most advanced decommissioning workforces, and you can see in other parts of the world now that people who are decommissioning the UK have been going to Japan, for example, recently, to be able to share that expertise and export some of that expertise, which has its own economic benefit and value as well.
I'm going to have to draw it very quickly to a close. Can I just ask you, Mr. Greatrex, also William, very briefly, whether you think that small to medium scale reactors are a realistic option for the UK's energy mix?
They are. Sorry.
Yes. Yes. No. Yes.
I was going to say they are potentially a good a further option, but they shouldn't be seen as an alternative to the larger scale new build.
Right.
I think they could